118. Xia Le and the Study of Han History. In the second year of Emperor Yuan of Jin's reign, 319 AD, Liu Cong, ruler of the Xiongnu-led Han state, died. Soon after, internal divisions arose within his regime. His nephew, Liu Yao, took over leadership but realized that using the name of the Han dynasty was no longer enough to deceive or control the people. In 319 AD, he changed the state's name to Zhao. At the same time, the powerful Han general Xia Le had been expanding his forces during the war against Jin. Unwilling to remain under Liu Yao's rule, he also declared himself king of Zhao, leading to the existence of two rival Zhao states. Xia Le's early struggles. Xia Le was of Jie ethnic origin, a nomadic group distinct from the Xiongnu. His family had been minor tribal chieftains for generations. In his youth, a famine struck Bingju, separating him from his tribe. He was forced into slavery and worked as a servant. On one occasion, he was captured by rogue soldiers and locked in a prisoner cart. As fate would have it, a herd of deer passed by, causing his captors to abandon their posts to chase them. Seizing the opportunity, Xia Le managed to escape. Having endured immense hardship and finding no other path for survival, Xia Le gathered a band of displaced farmers and formed a fearsome militia. When Liu Yuan launched his rebellion, Xia Le submitted to him and became a general in the Han army. The rise of a military genius. Compared to the Xiongnu, the Jie people had an even lower level of cultural development. Unlike Liu Yuan, who had received a traditional Han education, Xia Le was illiterate. However, as he rose through the ranks, he realized that military strength alone would not be enough to build a lasting empire. Recognizing the importance of governance, he placed his trust in a Han scholar, Zhong Bin, who advised him on political strategies. Under Zhong Bin's guidance, Xia Le implemented numerous reforms and actively recruited northern Han scholars who had fallen into poverty due to war. He even established a special unit called the Scholars' Camp, composed of learned men who could assist him in administration. Through a combination of personal bravery and the counsel of his strategists, Xia Le's influence grew rapidly. By 328 AD, he successfully defeated and killed Liu Yao, bringing an end to his rival Zhao state. 2 years later, in 330 AD, Xia Le officially proclaimed himself emperor of Zhao in Xianghua, modern-day Xingtai, Hebei. Historians later distinguished the two Zhao states by naming Liu Yuan and Liu Yao's kingdom former Zhao, and Xia Le's regime later Zhao. Xia Le's policies toward scholars. Despite his own illiteracy, Xia Le deeply valued educated men. After founding the later Zhao dynasty, he issued an order that any scholar captured in battle must not be harmed but instead sent to his court in Xianghua for evaluation. Following Zhong Bin's advice, Xia Le established schools and required the sons of his generals to receive an education. He also implemented a recommendation and examination system, ensuring that talented individuals could rise through the ranks. At the same time, Xia Le banned the use of the words Hu, a derogatory term for non-Han ethnic groups, and Jie, his own ethnicity, to discourage discrimination. However, he sometimes relaxed the rule to accommodate Han scholars. On one occasion, a Han official named Fan Tan was appointed to office. When he arrived at court, he was dressed in tattered clothing. Surprised, Xia Le asked, "How did you become so poor?" Forgetting the ban, Fan Tan replied, "I recently ran into a band of Jie bandits who stole everything I had. Now, I don't even have a decent set of clothes." Realizing that Fan Tan had suffered losses, Xia Le consoled him. "Such lawlessness among the Jie bandits is unacceptable. Allow me to compensate you." Only then did Fan Tan realize that he had violated the prohibition against mentioning the Jie people in a negative light. Terrified, he immediately bowed and begged for forgiveness. Xia Le, however, laughed and said, "That rule is for the common people. You, as a respected scholar, need not worry." True to his word, he not only compensated Fan Tan for his losses but also awarded him a horse and a carriage. Xia Le's interest in Han history. Although he could not read, Xia Le had a deep appreciation for books and often had scholars read them aloud to him. As he listened, he would frequently interject with his own interpretations. On one occasion, he was listening to a reading of the Book of Han, Han Shu. When he heard about advisors urging Emperor Gaozu of Han, Liu Bang, to restore the noble families of the former 6 kingdoms, he immediately objected. If Liu Bang had followed such foolish advice, how could he have unified the empire? The scholar reading the text quickly explained that Zhong Liang had convinced Emperor Gaozu not to reinstate the old noble houses. Shi Le nodded in approval, saying, "Now that was the right decision." At another banquet, Shi Le turned to one of his ministers and asked, "Which historical emperor do you think I compare to?" Hoping to flatter him, the minister replied, "Your Majesty is even greater than Emperor Gaozu of Han. No one else can compare." Shi Le chuckled and said, "You exaggerate too much. If I had lived in Liu Bang's time, I would have been one of his generals, perhaps at the level of Han Xin or Peng Yu. But if I had been born in the era of Emperor Guangwu of Han, then I might have been his equal. In that case, who knows who would have won?" The prosperity of later Zhao. Thanks to Shi Le's willingness to embrace talented individuals and his relatively open-minded policies, the early years of later Zhao saw a period of relative stability and prosperity. While Shi Le remained an unrefined warrior at heart, his respect for knowledge and effective governance allowed him to build a strong state, at least for a time. 119. Zhu Ti's Oath on the River. After the Xiongnu conquest of northern China, many people fled south to escape the turmoil. Among them was Zhu Ti, a close friend of Liu Kuan, who led hundreds of his fellow villagers to the Huai River region. During their journey, Zhu Ti took the initiative to organize the refugees. He gave up his own horses and carts to transport the elderly and the sick, and shared his food and clothing with those in need. Moved by his selflessness and leadership, the people chose him as their leader. Upon reaching Siku, north of present-day Xinjiang, Jiangsu, Zhu Ti had gathered a group of strong and determined warriors. These men, all northerners displaced from their homes, longed to reclaim their homeland. At that time, Prince Sima Rui of Langya, who had not yet proclaimed himself emperor, was stationed in Jiankang, modern Nanjing. Zhu Ti crossed the Yangtze River to meet him and urged him to take action. The chaos in the Jin dynasty was caused by internal strife within the imperial family, allowing the barbarians to seize our homeland. Now, the people of the Central Plains suffer under brutal occupation, and they yearn to resist. If Your Highness issues a command to reclaim lost territories, the people of the north will surely rise up in support. Sima Rui had no real intention of launching a northern campaign, but he found Zhu Ti's argument compelling and could not refuse outright. Reluctantly, he appointed Zhu Ti as governor of Yuzhou, modern eastern Henan and northern Anhui. However, he provided only enough grain for 1,000 men and 3,000 bolts of cloth. Zhu Ti would have to procure soldiers and weapons on his own. Undeterred, Zhu Ti gathered his followers, formed a small army, and set sail across the Yangtze. The famous oath, striking the oar in midstream. As the boat reached the middle of the river, Zhu Ti struck the water with his oar, an act described in classical Chinese as, and declared, "If I, Zhu Ti, cannot reclaim our lost homeland, I will never cross this river again." His powerful voice and unwavering determination deeply moved his followers, filling them with passion and resolve. The northern campaign begins. After reaching Huaiyin, Zhu Ti halted to train his troops, manufacture weapons, and recruit more soldiers. Soon, his army grew to over 2,000 men, and they began marching north. Along the way, Zhu Ti's army gained widespread support from the local population and quickly recaptured many lost territories. At the time, northern China was not only occupied by the later Zhao state but was also plagued by warlordism. Powerful landowners had taken advantage of the chaos to seize fortified strongholds and fight among themselves. Zhu Ti convinced them to stop their infighting and join his campaign. Those who refused to follow him and instead sided with the enemy were swiftly eliminated. His reputation and influence grew rapidly. Hearing of his old friend's success, Liu Kuan, who was still struggling in the north, was overjoyed. "I sleep with my weapons at night, waiting for the day to destroy our enemies. Now, Zhu Ti has beaten me to it." Defeating later Zhao. In 319 AD, Chen Chuan, a powerful landowner in Chenliu, surrendered to Shi Le, the ruler of later Zhao. In response, Zhu Ti launched an attack on Chen Chuan. Shi Le sent a reinforcement army of 50,000 men, but Zhu Ti decisively defeated them. Soon after, another later Zhao general, Dao Bao, engaged in a prolonged battle with Zhu Ti's subordinate Han Qian over Pengpi, near modern Kaifeng, Henan. The fighting lasted for 40 days, and both sides began to run out of supplies. The fake grain convoy trick. One day, Zhu Ti devised a cunning strategy. He filled cloth sacks with dirt and had over 1,000 soldiers carry them into camp, pretending they were full of grain. Later, he sent a few soldiers to carry real grain sacks but deliberately had them stop and rest along the road. Seeing this, Dao Bao became envious of Zhu Ti's seemingly abundant food supply. Desperate, he dispatched a large force to seize the grain, while the Jin soldiers pretended to flee in panic. However, Dao Bao's troops soon realized they had only captured a small amount of actual food, just enough to sustain them for a few days. Worse still, the sight of Zhu Ti's supposed stockpiles demoralized them, making them doubt their ability to continue the fight. Dao Bao was forced to send an urgent request for reinforcements from Shele. Shele responded by dispatching 1,000 donkeys loaded with provisions, but Zhu Ti had already obtained intelligence about the convoy's route. He set up an ambush and seized the entire supply, leaving Dao Bao's army completely cut off. With no other option, Dao Bao abandoned his position and fled under the cover of night. Zhu Ti's leadership and betrayal. Through sheer perseverance, Zhu Ti reclaimed all of Henan south of the Yellow River. Many later Zhao soldiers also defected to him. When Emperor Yuan of Jin, Sima Rui, officially took the throne, he recognized Zhu Ti's achievements and appointed him general of the Western forces. Zhu Ti remained deeply committed to his troops, sharing their hardships and living modestly despite his status. He used his personal savings to support his men, encouraged agriculture, and welcomed refugees. Regardless of a person's social rank or prior affiliations, he treated everyone with kindness and fairness. As a result, he earned the deep admiration of the people. One day, Zhu Ti hosted a banquet for the local elders. The community was overjoyed, celebrating with song and dance. Some elderly villagers wept, saying, "We are old now, but today, we have lived to see our loved ones again. We can die in peace." Zhu Ti continued to train and expand his forces, preparing to advance northward and reclaim the lands beyond the Yellow River. The court's betrayal and Zhu Ti's death. However, the weak and suspicious Emperor Yuan of Jin feared Zhu Ti's growing power. Instead of supporting his campaign, the emperor appointed Dai Yuan as general of the Western expedition and placed him in charge of military affairs across 6 northern provinces, making Zhu Ti subordinate to him. After years of hard-fought victories, Zhu Ti suddenly found himself constrained by the imperial court. Frustrated and demoralized, he was unable to continue his campaign as planned. Around this time, Zhu Ti received devastating news. His dear friend Liu Kuan had been assassinated by agents of Wang Dun, a powerful warlord within the Jin court. At the same time, Emperor Yuan of Jin and Wang Dun were locked in a bitter power struggle. Overcome with sorrow and anger, Zhu Ti fell gravely ill and passed away. A legacy of heroism. The people of Yuzhou mourned his death as if they had lost a beloved family member. Though Zhu Ti did not live to see the complete restoration of the Central Plains, his heroic spirit, embodied in his famous oath on the river, was remembered and honored by generations to come. 120. Dao Khan and the transporting of bricks. After Zhu Ti's death, the Eastern Jin dynasty was plagued by repeated internal conflicts. Wang Dun, who had once controlled the imperial court, launched a coup against Jiankang, modern Nanjing, killing several officials who opposed him. Later, during the reign of Emperor Ming of Jin, son of Emperor Yuan, Wang Dun attempted another attack but was defeated and died of illness. During the reign of Emperor Cheng of Jin, son of Emperor Ming, Su Jun, the military commander of Liang, modern Haxian, Anhui, rebelled and attacked Jiankang. The Eastern Jin court officials were at a loss, and only after Dao Khan, the governor of Jingzhou, led a military campaign did the rebellion finally come to an end, though it took 2 years to suppress. Dao Khan's demotion and determination. During Wang Dun's dominance, Dao Khan had been one of his subordinates. He gained merit through military achievements and was appointed governor of Jingzhou. However, envious officials spread slander about him, leading Wang Dun to transfer him to Guangzhou, a remote and undeveloped region at the time. This was effectively a demotion. Despite this setback, Dao Khan remained undiscouraged. Every morning, he would move 100 bricks, pi, from his study to the outside courtyard, and in the evening, he would move them back. Seeing this strange daily routine, people became curious and asked him why he did it. Dao Khan replied sternly, "Although I am in the south, my heart is set on reclaiming the Central Plains. If I become accustomed to a life of idleness, how will I be able to serve my country when the time comes? I use this exercise to keep my body strong and my will unwavering." The return to power. After Wang Dun's defeat, the Eastern Jin court reinstated Dao Khan as general of the Western expedition and governor of Jingzhou. The people of Jingzhou were overjoyed at his return, celebrating his reinstatement. Despite his new high rank, Dao Khan remained cautious and diligent. He meticulously oversaw all administrative matters, ensuring that nothing was neglected. He often reminded his subordinates. Even the sage King Yu the Great cherished every moment of time. Compared to him, we are mere mortals with far less wisdom and ability. How can we afford to waste time seeking comfort and ease? If a person contributes nothing to the state while alive and leaves behind no honorable legacy after death, wouldn't that be self-abandonment? Dao Khan had no tolerance for corruption or negligence. Some officials in his administration indulged in gambling and drinking, which led to delays in handling state affairs. Enraged, Dao Khan ordered all gambling and drinking paraphernalia to be confiscated and thrown into the river. He also punished the offending officials with a public flogging. From then on, no one in his administration dared to gamble or drink excessively. Strict governance and frugality. One day, while inspecting the countryside, Dao Khan saw a traveler plucking a handful of unripe rice stalks and playing with them absent-mindedly. Dao Khan stopped him and asked, "What do you intend to do with that rice?" The man, caught off guard, hesitantly admitted, "Nothing, really. I just grabbed it for fun." Upon hearing this, Dao Khan became furious. "You do not cultivate the land yourself, yet you destroy the hard work of farmers for no reason? How outrageous!" He ordered his soldiers to tie up the man and administer a beating before releasing him. Word spread about how fiercely Dao Khan protected the harvest. As a result, farmers became even more diligent, and soon, the region of Jingzhou flourished. Attention to detail, the value of scraps. Jingzhou was located along the Yangtze River, where the government frequently built ships. In the process, large amounts of wood shavings and bamboo scraps were left behind. Normally, such waste would be swept away or burned. However, Dao Khan ordered these materials to be collected and stored in warehouses. Although people found this unusual, they did not question him. One winter, during the New Year festival, government officials gathered to pay their respects to Dao Khan. However, heavy snowfall from the previous days had turned the palace courtyard into a dangerously slippery surface. Dao Khan immediately instructed his attendants to retrieve the stored wood shavings and spread them over the courtyard floor. The ground became safe to walk on, and the officials could move about without slipping. On another occasion, the Eastern Jin Navy needed bamboo nails to construct warships. Dao Khan once again had the stored bamboo scraps brought out and repurposed into nails for shipbuilding. Only then did people realize the foresight behind his careful preservation of seemingly useless materials. They deeply admired his wisdom and thorough planning. A legacy of diligence and order. Dao Khan served as a military commander for 41 years. His strict discipline and meticulous attention to duty earned him the respect of his peers and subordinates alike. Under his administration, law and order prevailed to such an extent that it was said, "In Dao Khan's territory, no one dared to steal, not even an unattended item left on the road would be taken." His leadership, frugality, and unwavering commitment to duty made him one of the most respected figures of the Eastern Jin dynasty.